Don, once again, I want to thank you so much for meeting up with me.
No problem.
There's so much going on in the world today. As you know, things change from second to second, it seems like. It's not like the olden days when we used to come in and talk about your yellow pages and, do you want a bigger ad, smaller ad, that sort of thing. There's so many different ways to advertise, and, I feel I wouldn't be doing a justice to you if I didn't go over, all the things that are out there, get you a better idea as to, where you're at, where you're placed. We look for ourselves on the internet every so often, but there's so many different places you can be, and things are just changing so rapidly that what we do is something called a market content review.
Okay.
It's kind of like every year you have to go to the doctor for your annual checkup, whether you like it or not. And this is kind of, let you know what's out there, where you might be and where you might want to be. So,
okay.
It's more educational. I'm not going to try to sell you anything or anything like that today. I want to just make sure that, we know where you're at and we know where you want to be. So with that in mind, I made a copy of everything. So that is for you. Basically, we're going to go over a few things. Like I said, it's all about you. Your needs, your customers, your capacity to grow.
Okay.
I want to reach 5 different key points. Your website, your SEO matrix, your DEX conversion, your online visibility, and of course the print phone book.
Okay.
With your experience while we're going through all this, I want you to think about, some key things. There's 8 key things that I want you to kind of key in on.
Okay.
What are your customers looking for? How are they hunting for you? What's available to them in this marketplace? What are your competitors offering them? Is it easy to do business with you? Do you offer what they really need? Is it easy to get answers to their specific questions? Are you perceived as trustworthy, reputable, and relevant to the customer's needs? Just from knowing you, I know that you do a very good job, and I'm sure your people underneath you do the same.
Okay.
But we want to make sure that you're hitting all these customers with what they're looking for. With that in mind, I do need to ask you a few questions, get a few ideas about your business. Now, I know I had met up with you last year, but every year things change a little bit. So, there are a few key things that I want to go over with you. Before we get there, what happens in an internet minute? Well, everything changes.
Okay.
There's Facebook, there's Twitter, I'm sure there's a new one that my kids are looking at that I have no idea about. It just seems like, every day there's something else out there, and it's growing exponentially. And when will it end? Probably never. Will it be easier to figure it all out? Hopefully one day, but in the meantime, we got to do what we can to make sure that you're relevant out there. So, like I said, I'm going to ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
It is all about you. I need to know, as far as your business goes, what's working well. Now, I know you're doing the garage building and the concrete. You're kind of focusing, on both aspects. But where are you finding that you're getting the majority of the business from?
From the garage building.
Okay. What would you like most to improve as far as that goes?
Probably just to do more of them. Maybe some larger ones at maybe the farm, the bigger pole buildings and things like that to store equipment in.
Okay. Where do you see your greatest opportunity with that?
Probably in that arena or whatever, or maybe even in like the Edwardsville area.
Okay. Edwardsville. So with that, your focus is pretty much the entire Metro East, or do you find that you're doing more business in St. Clair County or Madison County or a little bit north up in the far ends, Alto, that area?
Probably the whole area.
Okay.
But the far end of Alton probably isn't. It'd have to be a pretty nice sized job.
Okay. So you're not really going up to Jerseyville or anything like that?
No, probably not.
Okay. I know we're covering a lot of that area now. Where would you say what's your best moneymaker? Whether that be a town or, I know the garage building is something that you're focusing on.
Right. That's the best moneymaker.
Okay. What sets you apart from the competition?
Well, let's see. We have been in business probably the longest out of anybody that's been around. We answer our phones, and we're competitively priced. We want to make a good living, but we don't want to overcharge either.
Absolutely. Okay. So that's probably why I should use you, because you're competitively priced there and get the job done.
Well, and we can get out there quickly too.
What sort of turnaround time do you have?
We get the specifications and the things they want to do and agree on a price, and we can be out there within a week.
Oh, wow. Okay. Excellent. Now, I know that you're doing work in the Metro East, like we talked about.
Okay.
Are you going outside of the area? Are you going to the Missouri side of the river? Or,
Not really.
okay, stay away from there.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing as far as advertising at present time?
Well, we're with you.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
And we're working with our web guy.
Okay.
On our website, and we're doing some Facebook.
Okay. So you're not doing any direct mail or anything along those lines?
Not usually, no.
Okay.
I mean, we've tried it in the past, and it just hasn't worked very well.
Sure. Okay. What is working the best for you?
Probably, I really don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell. I mean, it seems like we're getting quite a few calls from what we have with you. It's harder,
Okay.
The website's getting a lot of traffic to it, so
Okay.
I can only think that the website guy is doing some of that.
Sure. So, as far as that goes, where do you feel you could improve, getting a little bit more?
Well, probably showing up a little bit more often in some of the areas outside of where we're located.
Okay.
Whenever I do some searches for myself, we don't show up in some of the other communities.
Mm-hmm. You had mentioned that you're getting a lot of hits to your website, that sort of thing. Are you able to track all of that?
No.
Okay. So at present time, you're not able to evaluate all the results that you're currently getting?
Right, no.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, let's talk a little bit about your ideal customer. What are they asking for? What are they buying?
Well, they're asking for, probably the medium-sized garages.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them that they can turn into shops and things like that. They're asking price, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the time frame.
Yeah.
And if we'll design it for them, too.
Okay.
Not everybody just wants the normal.
Something already built,
right.
Sure. So I'm assuming you get quite a few calls.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to get, say, 10 calls in one day, how many of those would actually turn into jobs? How many could you possibly bid on? I know that's
well,
two
we
different
could
things.
we could bid on more, but probably the ones out of 10 we probably convert about 4.
Okay, that's pretty good.
3 to 4.
Okay. Would you say that some of them just are shopping and they're not really ready to make that purchase that point?
Or they're not right. A lot of times sometimes it takes a long time.
Longer
for them to get the idea of what it was going to be, and then whenever they finally are ready to act, sometimes it's 6-8 months down the road.
Okay, makes sense. Fair enough. How many of these medium-sized jobs, shops, garages built are you able to handle during a given month?
Let's see. Probably we're able to handle. Right now, we're probably doing 2.
Okay.
We'd probably do 4. About 1 a week.
Okay. And what is the average cost of a building? I know that's hard because they range in size, but let's just take your middle-of-the-road, medium-sized building.
Probably $10,000.
Okay. Okay, so you can do 2. You're at 4. So you're currently missing about $20,000 in potential revenue coming into you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How quick do we want to get from the 2 to the 4?
Well, pretty quick.
Okay.
Be kind of nice.
Okay. I've got some ideas. Like I said, I wanted to share with you, go over a few things as far as that goes. This is actually the area. What I did was I went into Google Maps. I don't know if you've gone into there before. And I basically typed garage builders in Shiloh. As you can see, there's a ton of different businesses around the area. You may recognize some of them. But as time goes on, there's some that go, some that stay. You had mentioned you'd been around the longest, which is commendable. But there's always going to be a little bit of competition out there.
Right.
And we can't make them all go away, unfortunately. So,
right. Darn it.
I know you've been to Google before. You've probably seen this before, and I don't know how familiar you are. Sometimes I go out and see people, and this is kind of a refresher for them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 2 different types of search out there when people are actually searching on the internet. The first thing that comes up is your paid search.
Okay.
These are actually ads, and Google nowadays has a little thing off to the side that says ad, so you know that it's an ad. It's also off to the right. And, of course, there's placement there. A lot of people, go on to the search engines, to the marketing side, and get placed up top, and that gives you instant, accessibility.
Okay.
You've been in business for a while, so your business actually will be showing up on the organic side. Now, the organic side is underneath the paid advertising. Oftentimes, there's a map, and then there's the organic side of the advertising. With the organic side, people often wonder, how do I get to the top of that? Well, that takes a little bit of extra effort on your part or someone that a business, to help to get you a little bit more relevant.
Okay.
And I'll get a little bit more into that, but basically what it is you've got a website out there. You want to make that website, accessible to as many people as possible. You want to get it higher up, get it higher ranked, that sort of thing. So that's your search engine optimization.
Okay.
This is your website. It's definitely put together. You got some excellent pictures out there. That's one of the things a lot of people do notice the pictures. It's relatively easy to read. It's functional website, but there's a few things that may be missing from it.
Okay.
As I had mentioned to you, making your way up on the ladder as far as the search engine optimization is difficult. And one of the ways you do that is you consistently put keywords, key phrases into your website. We did a little review on it, and actually, as you can see, you scored a 3 out of 5, which is relatively good. You've got a lot of people that are seeing you there, but the one area that you're missing a focus is the keywords. Like I say, you want to make sure that it's well enabled and relevant to all the people that are out there.
Okay.
And there's a few different ways that we can aid you with that. So,
Okay.
with that in mind, another place, as I mentioned to you, there's a gazillion different places you can be out there on the internet. And one of the things that we do is we kind of take your information, make sure it goes out to everybody, exactly the same, because that's another way to help you with the search engine optimization to get you from the bottom up to the top.
Right.
And basically what this is a report. It shows a lot of the different websites that are out there. Some of them do not have your information.
Oh.
We want to make sure everybody has your information. Not to mention there's a few different addresses and a couple instances a different phone number.
Oh.
So
that's not good.
Yeah. Well, this number right here, that address may actually be your home address.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
Well,
somehow somebody got
there.
it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You want to make sure that everybody has all the same information. It's going to be helpful for your customers. It's also going to be helpful to get you placed a little bit higher.
Okay.
The Google machine, like I like to call it, is always changing. It's always updating. And what you want to make sure is that your information is always the same. It's always consistent.
Okay.
People sometimes get a hold of the wrong information and they scatter it about, but we can still make all that fresh and clean. So,
Okay.
And that's something that I wanted to bring to your attention. Your online presence, we have kind of a tracker that'll show you where you're at. It'll show you, where you're going out to. There's an opportunity for you to not only see, when people put reviews about your business, but also a competitor of yours. You can put their name in there and kind of see where they're at, where they're marketing, where they're trying to get, access to additional people. And that's helpful in a lot of cases because, of course, you don't want someone to have an upper edge on you.
Right.
Of course, you might find that they're not doing as much as you, which is always a benefit.
Right.
And it kind of puts it in your hands. I'm here to help you out. I'll be here to answer any questions. Free consultations, what you get with Dex. If you go with our services, we're going to do that too. But we're also going to give you the ability to look at it yourself, to track it yourself. 24/7. It's kind of like we used to say about the phone book, easy access 24/7. You can do it when you have time. And we know that middle of the day you might not have time, or when I call you 3 times and you're busy, So, with that in mind, I did take a look. It looks like you do have a Facebook page. One of the things I noticed is you're not getting too many posts out there.
Okay.
It looks like since March was the last time that a post was placed on there. It's kind of like everything else. It's all about being relevant. It's all about, keeping up to date. The spiders, as they're called to the internet, like to make sure that they have the most recent information, and more stuff coming out is going to make you more visible. It's going to attract more people. And people are going to want to know about your business. And if I heard about you and, I Google you and your Facebook comes up and there's not much on there,
right.
kind of draws me aside. I'll check out your website if that comes out, and that's going to be helpful. But you want to make sure that everything is functioning to the best of its capacity. So,
okay.
Here's another website that has been put together. One of my favorite concrete websites, not companies, of course. It looks like they're getting, a ton of likes and have over 479 likes.
Oh, okay.
The more likes you get, the more relevant you become.
Right.
It used to be Facebook was kind of, you get on there and you'd see the people you like. But as time has gone on, they kind of put the views of stuff that you like, that that you kind of are into. You may have a friend from back in junior high school that you never see on Facebook because they're into completely different things and
right.
you guys don't tie together. So you want to make sure you're relevant with that. Visibility. 70% of mobile searchers call a business directly from their phone. One of the things I noticed about your website was that it is not mobile enabled at present time.
Okay.
I don't know if you know exactly what that means, but when you look at the website on your phone, you gotta kind of make it bigger to show the information.
Okay.
Nowadays, unfortunately, Google will penalize you for that.
Okay.
It's kind of another thing that keep you a little less relevant.
Right.
Because it's so easy to do to change it from not enabled to mobile enabled. Your iPads, your cell phones, and let's face it, a lot of people are looking on the cell phones. 70% of mobile searchers call direct. I personally am from the old school. My phone's not big enough. I look at it and I can't really see everything. But
right.
My wife, for instance, she's always looking on her phone. I don't know how she does it. She doesn't even have a laptop or an iPad or anything like modern day people have. So. But she does everything right from her phone, and she can do that. And it seems like a lot of people are going that direction, and it's no longer just the younger generation.
Yeah.
Everybody's starting to go that way. So another thing, you may have seen this before when you go into some of your favorite websites. Off on the side, there'll be like a little ad that's there that advertises for a particular business. You ever seen anything like that?
Yeah, I have.
That's an opportunity as well. It's kind of like your online billboards that are out there. And a lot of people look that direction. The internet's kind of sneaky, and they know where you're going and what you're looking at, so they kind of have an idea of what you're looking for, so they're able to place these banners for things that you might be interested in.
Okay.
And that's a great opportunity for your business to be a part of something like that. So, another thing we do, or another thing that I want to talk to you about, nowadays a lot of people do kind of the mobile or the punch cards, kind of specials, coupons for your business. I don't know if you guys have ever done that in the past or something you'd ever consider doing.
No, but it's something interesting to think about. To try to get some more people to add on some services and things like that.
Absolutely. And if you've got a current customer base, it's always good to reach out to them and that sort of thing. If you have an appointment with the customer, we have the capacity, send them an email reminder, let them know, hey, I'm going to be there at this time, please let us know if that won't work for you.
Right.
I don't know what you're doing at current time to
just
schedule.
Calling.
Yeah, okay. There's nothing worse than showing up and somebody's not ready. So, there's lots of different opportunities with that as well. Video, have you guys ever put a video together for the business?
No, we haven't.
Okay. It's not just for the commercials anymore, for the TV.
Yeah.
A lot of times people have videos out on the internet. And businesses that have a video, are definitely more apt to have people look at their information.
Okay.
69% of all global internet traffic is coming through video marketing. So people are looking at your videos. It's a way to highlight what you do, I don't know necessarily from seeing your ad, seeing the first thing about you, if you do all these things that I want you to do. And if you have a video, I'm apt to look at it. If you have a website, I'm apt to call you. And I'm not everybody, but there's certain people out there that are like that. So, this is your Dex conversion page. It's basically information about your business. This is kind of where it all starts. This is going to help lead more traffic, not only to your website, but to help you build up as far as search engine optimization in general. We also have a way to get this set up on the marketing side to get you one of the first ones shown. Oftentimes when I go into Google, yellowpages.com is coming up, which is a direct lead into Dex Knows. Oftentimes Dex Knows comes up. So, people are able to go into here, they're able to see, a little bit more information about your business. I actually can track this, and since we had this set up last year, I can show you exactly how many people found you there.
Okay.
I'll definitely bring that in our next meeting when we meet up, hopefully next week, and we'll kind of go from there. Yellowpages.com, that's another thing that I wanted to show you. What I found is that I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for over 10 years, and this is the first year that I can honestly say that when I type in garage builders, concrete, plumbers, anything, I type a city after it, yellowpages.com is coming up on the first page. So they're doing really good with their search engine optimization. They're owned by AT&T, so they do a lot of advertising with that. So it's out there.
I think I might have saw him at the Cardinal game.
Yeah, it's funny. I was watching a game the other night, and someone hit a pop fly into outfield and right across the street, yellowpages.com. So this is your ad that you currently have in the book. I think that as far as your placement, you're in good shape. But I think that there's a few things we can add to this. I see that your website isn't added into there. I don't know if you had that the last time that we had met up, but we definitely want to get that in there. Maybe get some hours in there. The fact that you accept Visa and MasterCard, that sort of thing. Because it's not just about where you're at. It's kind of about what information you have out there. And the majority of people are looking for this phone number anyways. They're going to call you. Some of those same people are going to say, well, do you do this? And it says so right on your ad. But you want to make sure that you have the most relevant information out there. So, that's another area that I wanted to kind of focus with you on. A lot of people have asked me before, why should I partner with Dex as far as the internet? And you might be wondering that. I'm glad you're wondering. It's a great question.
Yes.
One of the things, I don't know if I really touched on it, but we do a lot of search engine, whether it's optimization or marketing. We do a lot of work with other businesses, and we partner with one of the largest companies to do that. They're ranked, number 1, number 2 every time. The company is called Boostability, and I don't know if you know much about the different search engine companies that are out there, but this is one of the top ones out there. As a company, Dex is Google AdWord preferred. We are one of 16 across the entire country. So, we do have a little bit of clout there. Not only are we higher up as far as that goes, but we do so much business with them, we're able to actually pass on, a little bit of the savings to you. So it's confusing. I've gone over a lot of things.
You have.
different acronyms, social media, SEO, mobile marketing. There's a lot that we talked about. But the fact of the matter is, we can simplify everything into one nice package.
That's nice.
We can help you get found, get chosen, and get talked about.
Okay.
And that's the key. So with that in mind, I didn't know, like I said, we've talked about so many different things. Don, you're probably like, I just want to take a nap after all this. But what things that we discussed were the most appealing to you? Do you want to learn a little bit more about? Because what I'd like to do is get some information together, come back, and kind of key in on where we want to go, where we want to take things.
Right.
So.
Okay. Well, probably the Facebook thing.
Okay.
Because I need to get doing more than last March. And also showing up higher on those other communities where the search engine optimization and maybe even the paid ads. Because I was looking at that before I got here, and you can see, like, especially on your mobile phone, that's about all you see on page 1 are the paid ads.
And so a lot of times when people look on their mobile phone, there's a number right there on the top, and oftentimes that is a tracked telephone number, and you don't know that because you don't see the number, but you press it, and it automatically tells them that you're finding them that way.
Right. And then the other thing is probably making my website so it fits the phone.
Okay. Mobile enabled. And I know that you had said that the coupons and the offering customers a little bit more is something that is a little bit of interest to you.
Right. I'd like to hear a little bit more about it.
Okay. Perfect. What other questions do you have for me at this point in time?
I don't think I have any right now.
Okay. Well, do you think that... I know you said Thursdays are usually pretty good for you. Would the same time work for you Thursday afternoon?
That sounds great.
Put that down. If you have any questions in the meantime, please don't hesitate to call me.
Okay.
And once again, as always, I appreciate your time, and look forward to catching up with you next week.
Okay.
You have a great
All right.
weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.